Hey middle schoolers, so what you're going to do for your next project is an ice cream with value. So we've talked about value a lot. Value is when you go dark to medium and light. So you need to have a gradual flow of dark, medium to light. Okay, and that all depends on how heavy your pressure is, the darker it's going to be. So I'll go over that again. But this project, I need to see your value, and that's what this whole project is about, including your cool ice cream cones. So what you need for this project is a piece of paper. I'm just using a printer piece of paper. That's up to you. And then, depending on the tools that you have, you can use colored pencil to shade, you can use crayon to shade, or even marker to shade. Marker is going to be the hardest one, but if you only have marker, I'm going to show you how to create value with our marker using the stippling effect. But colored pencil or crayon is what I would recommend for adding value to your ice cream. And then, of course, you need a pencil, and I also provided sheets on how to draw a cone or a waffle cone or a dish, depending on what ice cream you want to create. And then I also provided on how I created my scoops or your swirl scoop. Okay, so I'm just going to do the cone, which is the top cone. And I'm starting with pencil. You should always sketch light. That way you can erase, and it's like upside down triangle. When you create your lines, if you go straight across, it's not going to create the illusion that you have a cone. It's just going to look like a triangle. So we need to curve down with our lines to create that illusion, and the same the other way. So I'm curving down to create our illusion with our cones. Okay, and then your cone has to sit on something. So I'm going to do a table in the background, and then it's going to sit in a circle. So I'm just doing a circle right in front of the cone that meets the sides, the end of the table, and another ledge. Okay, so then you're going to erase not the tip of the cone, but right where your cone would be covered by the table. Okay, so then you have your cone. Next comes the ice cream scoops, and I show you how to do those, or you could do a soft serve. That's up to you. I'm going to do scoops. So the easiest way on how to draw a scoop is to start with a circle, draw super light, and then at the bottom of that circle, you can draw your melty ice cream that's melting on your cone, and erase what you need to erase from there. So I'm going to do that a little bit darker so you can see. Started with the circle. Okay. And then same with on the top of here. I'm going to melt this one down a little bit. Started with a circle, and now you melt it wherever you want. Maybe it's melting to the side of the other one, and then coming down the other way. But you should be sketching light so you can erase the top of the other ice cream, because obviously ice cream is not see-through, so you don't want to be able to see through it. I would say do at least 2 scoops, and then at the top you can add a cherry or maybe some whipped cream. Anything you add, you still have to add value to. So we're going to add value to our whipped cream, our ice cream scoops, our cone, and even our table. So I'm going to do 1 ice cream scoop using marker, 1 ice cream scoop using colored pencil, and 1 ice cream scoop using crayon. Now you're only choosing one of these. You're not putting marker, then colored pencil, then crayon. I'm just showing that you can use all 3 of these. So you're choosing one to do your whole piece over, like I did all colored pencil with this one. Or you can do all marker or all crayon. It depends on what material you have, but I'm showing you that you can still create value with those materials. So I'm going to flip it on its back. And when I say I want value, that means the left side is going to be super dark, so you're going to push. Then you're going to lighten up your pressure. You're not pushing as hard. So now I have a medium value. And then you'll get to a very light pressure where you're just dancing on top of the paper. Okay, and you can also do that with colored pencil. Pushing, lightening up your pressure, and then very light. Now, obviously, those would be all pushed together. So I'll do that again. Heavy pressure. As you hit the middle of your scoop, you're going to lighten up that pressure you're pushing down, and then lighten up even more to get your lighter value. You can always go back and darken what you have, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to flip over. Like I said, I'm going to show you using all 3, but you are going to just pick one to use. I'll start with marker. With marker, if you only have markers to you don't have any crayons or colored pencils, then you have to use the stippling technique. So that means you do dots. The more dots you do, the darker your value. So you're going to do a lot of dots on the left side. And then as you get to the middle, you're going to be spreading out your dots so you won't have as many of them close together. You can do any flavor ice cream. If you do pink, assume it's strawberry ice cream. You can do green for mints. You could add sprinkles. You could add chocolate chips. You could get really creative with your ice cream scoops. Part that I forgot is that you should go over your pencil lines with Sharpie before you start your value. So I'm going to do that real quick. All the pencil lines with Sharpie, and then you can start your value. I got a little bit ahead of myself. If you don't have Sharpie, you could always just use plain Crayola marker. That works too. So then, like I said, I'm going to show you this marker step with value. So you have to do stippling with marker. The more dots you do, the darker your value. Spreading out your dots creates a medium value. Now I'm going to move on to my colored pencil. Same, left side darker, because if you do it on the right side now, you're contradicting yourself. The light is over here. So if the light is shooting over here, that means the right side is going to be your light value, because the light is over here. So my dark value is on my left. So my pressure is really heavy right now. This is my dark side, creating value. And then when you get to the middle, you lighten up how hard you're pushing. and then go all the way to a light value. Colored pencil looks the best and works the best, but you could also use crayon and marker. So you choose what material you want to work with, and I'm just showing you all three so you know you can do value with all three of those materials. Then I'm going to show you with crayon that you can do crayon value, and it works the same way as a colored pencil. It's very similar. Heavy pressure on the left side because our light is over here on the right. So I'm going to do heavy pressure. When I get to the middle, same thing, lighten up your pressure. And then you're going to get to the right side and almost be just dancing right on top of your paper. So heavy pressure on the left, get to the middle, and you'll have a medium pressure. And don't forget the tip of your ice cream cone. And then, after you create value with your ice cream, you're going to create value in your table. So it's the same way, light and dark, but you need a shadow. So the shadow always follows the light. So if my light's shining down here, your shadow is going to be on this side. So I'm going to do a heavy pressure on the left side of my ice cream cone. And then I'm just going to use a light pressure on everything else but the shadow. So everything else is a light pressure I'm using, and then I did a heavy pressure for the shadow. So pause at any time or rewind if you're confused with the shadow part. It follows the light. And then everything else I am coloring with a light pressure. And a medium pressure below. Okay, for the background, I'm going to, you could use watercolors or any material you want. The background is up to you. If you don't know what to do with the background, I would suggest maybe doing a visual textured background. So you could do dots or maybe dashes like confetti and switch your color. Just to create a really bright textured background, since we have more of a smooth, valued ice cream. Background's up to you, but I would suggest doing a textured background with lots of colors. Okay, so then after you get your background all complete, take a picture of it and put it on Google Classroom. So assignments before, if you watch the video, you should have all the requirements that I'm looking for on your assignment. So the ice cream needs to have a value, so that means dark, medium to light. You can use crayon, colored pencil, or marker. You choose one of those and complete your whole ice cream with that. Don't do a multiple material like Miss Luthenauer. I was just showing you that you can do it with marker and you can do it with colored pencils and also create value with crayon. So pick one of those and add value to your ice cream cone. You can add chocolate chips. Or any other details that kind of make it fun, maybe a cherry on top. If you have vanilla ice cream, I would suggest doing a light blue value or maybe a light gray value on the side to create your value for white ice cream, vanilla ice cream. Other than that, if you have any questions, shoot me a text. If you can't open the video, I can always email it to you separately in hopes that you can open it through email instead. All right, let me know how it goes.